I don't remember what it was that jogged this thought, but it occurred to me what a pointless exercise it is to collect taxes. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm not advocating anything here, but we're $20 trillion in debt. Our budget deficits are just out of control. And the entire political class, Democrats are the worst offenders, but looking at this latest budget deal, you can't exempt the Republicans. We're spending money that we don't have at a faster clip than ever. And we're spending it on things that only accomplish one thing, and that's the further entrenchment of the political class in power. We're not even spending money on decent things that improve people's lives. We're spending money on things that are criticizing or actually causing harm to people's lives, such as whatever entitlement spending we are engaging in to pay for all of these undocumented people that are showing up, continuing to show up in droves. We don't have the money for any of this. This last budget deal shows that when it comes to budgeting in this country, there is no thought given to how much money is collected and whether or not that ought to be a factor in how much money is spent. The only thing that determines how much money is spent is how much people think they can get away with. In the normal world, you have your income. That determines your spending, your ability to fund whatever it is you want to pay for, the ability to service debt for things that you can't afford outright. None of those things matter in the budgeting process. And I know baseline budgeting is not a new thing here. We've explained it countless times over the years. But I mean, there doesn't seem to be even any relationship to how much money is collected in taxes and whatever other sources of income the government has compared to what is spent. We announce $500,000 over here, $2 trillion over there, half a million over here, with no thought to being able to pay for it. And I was thinking, what's the point of collecting taxes? Doesn't seem to matter. The tax collection seems to exist only as a way to keep people in line, but it certainly has nothing to do with the budgeting process in this country. If it did, we wouldn't have annual deficits like we have. We wouldn't have a $20 trillion national debt if it mattered. If the amount of money we spent was predicated and based on how much money we've got, and the government doesn't have a dime until they take it from somebody else, via fees, taxes, and you name it. So over here we have taxes, all forms. We have collections, all forms. That produces X amount of money, and that money is not related to how much we spend in any way, shape, manner, form, except as to calculate the deficit every year. But big whoop, we calculate it. It's out of sight. It's astronomical. National debt continues to expand, and nobody seems to, if the political class, nobody seems to care one whit about it. Now, to me, that can only happen with a total loss of values that have as their primary objective responsibility. So the people who are elected to have positions of power in this country they're exhibiting no responsibility whatsoever. Well, we all know why. The spending of money is how power is purchased. The spending of money is how power is maintained. The spending of money is how power is entrenched. I mean, I get all that. And I'm not, don't misunderstand, I'm not making a claim here that we should cancel income tax. None of that. I'm just pointing out it doesn't matter. There's no responsibility. There is no relationship whatsoever to how much money is collected in determining how much money we spend. It's just out of control. And therefore, everything's rigged. When you're $20 trillion in debt, I mean, the idea of being able to repay that is out the window. We're getting close to the point where servicing that kind of debt is going to become difficult to do. And then doing it. But that doesn't stop anybody. There's nothing. There's no level of irresponsibility that puts the brakes on any of it. And none of it affects the people that live in Washington. They're doing just fine. They're living off of what they're spending. Washington's where the Treasury is. Washington's where all the money ends up before it then gets redistributed. Everybody there's got their hands in that pile one way or the other. And growing that pile, which is created by spending, not by collections, which goes to show you how rigged and artificial it is.